Yo, what's up everybody? Welcome back to the channel. So you guys all know the game Bubblegum Simulator, of course, because most of my subscribers are subscribed for me to play Bubblegum Simulator. But, the game has gone through, like, a lot of changes, over the past, like, year and a half, or, like, almost 2 years, to show this game, which is now finally showing a comeback. Like, it originally was made in November 1st of 2018. Now this game was very small. Now we're talking about Roblox in 2018. 2018 as in when Jailbreak was on the top, but then it only had 24,000 people playing. Let's think about this. The most popular game right now is Adopt Me. This horrible, cringy game that I personally despise. It's actual shit. Let's be honest, chat. I mean, everybody. But this game Adopt Me has 300,000 to 400,000 people playing it on average in 2020. Now, this is because of people having to stay home a lot more because of, quarantining themselves from, COVID-19. But, well, let's think about this. Rumble Studios created Mining Simulator, and Mining Simulator was, back in this time, was the second most popular game at the time, along with Jailbreak. Jailbreak number 1, then Mining Simulator. Then all of these other games that you just think of, those were really that big back then? I mean, it's not that long ago, but if you really think about it, these games just feel like you haven't seen them on the leaderboards forever. Just looking at all of these, like, up here, like, fucking Doomspire brick battles. That was number 3. December 3rd of 2018. That's just insane. Now, if you even look back on here, right when the game was created, which was created by a huge company for Roblox, which is Rumble Studios. But this was just when Mining Simulator came out. I mean, not when Mining Simulator came out. It came around in the same time area, but it was still pretty new as well. So, if I even look it back, like, it's not even on the leaderboards at all. There's not a single, like, sight of it on the leaderboards. But, after, like, a little bit, of 2018, games, like, fluctuating, and, this game was catching popularity, Bubblegum Simulator was, finding its audience within the simulator, area, because a lot of the people from Mining Simulator, which was one of my favorite games back then, I loved Mining Simulator, and I was like, what games am I gonna play besides Mining Simulator? So then I went and I found some. I found Bubblegum Simulator, which is a really good game. So let's skip ahead to April of 2019. By the way, guys, how I'm actually checking up on all of this data is by the Wayback Machine. It's a really cool machine. It shows you all the statistics, like the actual websites, what they looked like back in, like, years behind. So let's skip to April 2019. Well, actually March 31st. So now we look, and then all of a sudden, Mining Simulator isn't even on the first page of most popular. Jailbreak is number 4, and some game called Mad City is ahead of it by like 5,000 people on average. And then you look at this game, which I totally forgot about, called God Simulator. This game is number 1. And then you turn over and you see Bubblegum Simulator, 300 milliven at 15K. Now let's look back even further, like, let's go to, January, because we were just looking at December. Let's look at January of 2019, right after, right, like, around the time when the games first came out. Let's see, is it even on the leaderboard? No. It's still around the same thing that was happening in December. You keep on looking. You keep on looking. I don't see Bubblegum Simulator in here. So let's skip ahead even more. Let's say February. That means the game came out about 4 months after. Now, around this time, I was playing this game during, like, the entire time. I played this game in November to now. Like, I've always played it. I mean, I took a little break, in the middle of 2019 because I thought the game was kind of messing itself up with all the updates, with hats. I didn't really like hats, nor did I like the worlds, but I came back later on. So let's look. You know what? It's not even there. It's not there in February either. And then you think, it has to be there in March, right? And then all of a sudden, between the time of February and March, the game just skyrocketed. It skyrocketed in, like, players. You can just tell. I mean, it skyrocketed in a good way. By the time that March came around, the game had about 1,000 players on average, which is pretty good for a new game that's only been around for like a couple months. Now, this is really crazy to see the change from March to April. Now, March the game was going on, like 1,000 players, and then all of a sudden, it goes from 1,000 on average to 15,000. The game just skyrockets in this month. It's insane. Like, it skyrockets at a completely like different way. Like, no other game really skyrocketed that much. And then you just look. It's at 15k viewers. Like 15,000 people are playing it on average in March. And then you could keep on going through, and then you look at May. You're like, what's going on with this game during May? Will it go up even more? And then you look at it, and the game is at number one with 40,000 people playing it. And this is when the game, this is when Roblox wasn't even that big. It still had like 20,000 games with 20,000 people on average, which compared to now is not too much, because like every single game has like 20,000 on average. That's in the top popular games. So then let's go even more ahead. Let's look at August. Now, August is around when I dropped off out of the game. I stopped playing it a lot. When the summer started, I just felt the game wasn't really fun, like, anymore for me, because the game was really fun to grind when it first came out, because it was very easy to be able to get on high ranking for me, because I played it once it came out. So I was one of the best players. Like, every single game, I was on the leaderboards. I only had like 600 million bubbles blown. But, I was one of the best players in most of the games. So this is around when I dropped off, and I started playing, like, different games. And I, mostly, like, I just stopped playing Roblox as a whole around this time. So, if we look back, the drop was so substantial, it's insane. It nearly dropped Bubblegum Simulator off the entire, like, front page. It's insane. Now, before, like, around this time, Bubblegum Simulator had, like, an average of, like, 15k, 20k sometimes. But then around this time, it just really dropped off. I'm trying to look for it on the popular, because it's literally not even here. And the lowest game on here is 1,500 people playing it. So, this game really dropped off in value at an exponential rate in August. So, it's just completely all the way at the bottom, around August. And Then you go back to November 2019. Let's see how the game is doing now. Now this is when I came back to go check out on the game, because I was bored. I was like, I haven't played this game in a couple months. Let's see how it's doing. Now this is like exactly a year after it's released. We're looking at November 21st, 2019, and the game was released November 21st, 2018. So the game's trying to regain its audience that it lost because of some mishaps with the hats that they added in the worlds. This is around when the game started dying, and then so let's look. So the game starts regaining popularity right after its little like Deadlands when the game started like losing popularity, and this is also around when Adopt Me starts getting big. And Adopt Me in this time in November has 180,000 people compared to all the other like averages of people playing it. This is just an insane number to just look at compared to like just like 3-4 months prior to this. So then you look at Bubblegum Simulator, and it has 7,000 people playing it, which is definitely regained from the part when it was dying, definitely, an exponential rate. So then we're like, let's look at it. In February 2020. Now this is when I really got back into the game. The St. Patrick's update really brought my interest back into it. Because during the times when the game was dying, the things that were really making it die were the fact that hats were in the game, all the pets were getting reskins, and overall there wasn't much content really being added in besides reskins coming out here and there, and then like every couple months maybe like a new world will show up. But then the like weekly updates weren't like at this point they like stopped doing weekly updates actually. I remember Isaac saying on Twitter, he said, we're going to start doing updates every other week or something. And then I was like, that's crazy. Like, why? So, right about in February, the game starts regaining its popularity for some reason. Update 43 really regained the game's popularity. It really helped me out and subscribers and viewers, but it really made a comeback with Update 43. So Update 43 was a really good update for Bubblegum Simulator. In the first like couple days of Update 43, we got like 15,000 people, like 40,000 people playing, and it was like it was very, very high for Bubblegum Simulator at the time. Well, it was just like a month ago, basically. So the game is just growing in like popularity again, finally, after being like kind of a dead game after for like months. So then like all the YouTubers start hopping on the train to like post videos. I start posting videos, live streaming, because I noticed for some reason it's making a comeback. So then the game is now at like a peak of like 20,000, 25,000 people playing it basically at all times, besides like in the midday when it's like 40,000 people. So I really do think that this game is making a comeback. I really do think it will be able to it will be able to do better, do better than Mining Simulator. Well, it already was, but I believe it's gonna be able to gain attention, especially with the new Valentine's update that's gonna be coming out. New Easter update. They're planning on a big Easter egg hunt, some really cool pets, and everything that they've been doing. It's like some of the reskins may be reskins, but they're doing a much better job. They're not just doing recoloring it and maybe changing the texture. They're really like adding in new pets like the Scorpio. The Elemental Guardian may be like a reskin in one way, but I really do like the way it looks. The top hat, all the really cool pets from that just came out in part 2 of St. Patrick's Day, like the St. Patrick's Rewards pet, like the Overseer and the Galactic Shock. These pets are really cool pets. And the whole spin to win feature was also a really good feature, but I really do think that the game is regaining its popularity, and I do think it will, it'll do better. it'll definitely like do better. I think 2020 is gonna be a good year for Bubblegum Simulator. Maybe a bad year for almost everything else on Earth. Almost everything else, but at least Bubblegum Simulator is doing much better with its updates, its new pets that it's coming out with, and all that stuff. So if you guys haven't already subscribed to the channel and liked this video already, please do. It'll show a lot of love to me, everything I do. And if you guys could also comment #NotificationSquad in the comments, you will get a shout out from me in the next video. Here's some of the people that did it in my last video. I'll pop them up on the screen right now. And also, if you haven't checked out my last video already, please do. It's a really cool video about how I got to make myself a shiny Overseer and a shiny Galactic Shock for free, no game passes. And I don't think I showed you guys my game passes thing, but if you do look here, I will even slow it down. There's not a single game pass in there that I've bought. Haven't bought the 2 times thing either. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. We have merch that we're gonna be coming out, limited merch for 1,000, which we haven't hit yet, but I'm hoping for the best. Hopefully we can get it in the next week. And bye guys.